fight, break down the fight. Um, well, you know what? As the more you see Tank, you see him develop as a fighter. He's starting to really develop ring IQ as a fighter. Um, he knew he could knock Rolly out, so he was willing to, sacrifice some rounds. I always knew he would knock Rolly out. I told you this fight wasn't going the distance, and it was kind of funny. I was talking to the people at the bar. I was watching it, and we knew that Tank was gonna knock Rolly out. We just were wondering when. And I had told the dudes that, and it was funny. My cousin and my sisters was there. Well, one of my sisters was there, but my cousin, she like a sister to me. So um, we were just both talking and chilling. All three of us, and it was funny. We all thought that Tank would get him out of there by the sixth round. I said, I think Tank will get a 6 round knockout. I said, Rolly is going to more than likely run into something. And that's exactly what he did. And for the most part, Rolly tried to be patient, but you could see him losing his patience because he couldn't, he basically couldn't outbox Tank. And Rolly did come in there swinging for the fences. He landed some nice shots against Tank. But you just knew that eventually Tank was going to hit him with something that was going to put his lights out. Now, as far as the referee stopping the fight, it was about to get. I'm talking about he was really about to get slapped, and you knew it was going to happen, but the referee called a halt to it. I just kind of wanted to see it. Not that I wanted to see Rolly get seriously hurt, but you like seeing, vicious knockouts. You always want the guy to be okay. You don't wish ill will or ill fate on anybody. You always want these guys to be okay. But at the end of the day, it is, the entertainment business. Boxing is the entertainment business, so you want to be entertained. And I can tell you right now, Tank proved that he could put asses in the seats. They said it was like 18,000 people there. I got phone calls from people saying that place was packed, and it looked like it was packed. So Tank can sell tickets. That's one thing he can sell is tickets. And it appears that he's staying with Mayweather Promotions. So what does that mean now? Will that mean Tank will try to fight the best guys out there? Will they try to make the best fights out there for Tank? Fights and a lot of money out there for Tank. Unfortunately, these fights are not all, associated with the PBC. And that's the only problem. As a boxing fan, you just want to see the best fights get made. And you just get tired of the politics. You kind of get tired of hearing it. You kind of get tired of, hearing excuses. Now, as the nut huggers, they're going to defend a certain promotional company no matter what, because that's what they do. They're going to defend a certain promotional company, a certain promotion, even, a certain fighter to the T, because that's what they do. After what I saw tonight, Tank is a very talented fighter, and whether you like it or not, you look at versus all of them. You look at whether it's Shakur, whether it's Devin Haney, whether it's Ryan Garcia, whether it's Teofimo Lopez, whether it's Vasily Lomachenko. Do I dare say that you might have to favor Tank to beat all those guys? You might have to go that route. And it's no knock to none of the other fighters. I said you might. I said you might. Because if I say he will, then, people get upset, and then they call you, or I'm not going to do an interview with you because you said, no, I'm not saying it. I said you might have to favor Tank against all of those guys. Now, did I say that none of those guys can't possibly beat Tank? No, they could possibly beat Tank as well. I just said based off Tank's power and a developing ring IQ, you might have to favor Tank versus all those dudes, but I'm not saying he couldn't lose none of those fights. But the question is, are we going to see those fights? Lord knows we want to see them. At the end of the day, if you want to say boxing and bring it back to its glories of the 80s, early 90s, you're going to have to start other promotional, because I want to protect my faith against this fighter or that fighter. I just want to see the best, or at least who we think is the best, fighting the best. That's all we can ask for as fans, and I feel like we deserve it. If we're going to pack these arenas, if we're going to buy pay-per-view, spend our hard-earned money to see certain fighters, then we need to get certain fights. And that's all I'm asking. Is that really too much to ask of a fighter, to just give us some of the best fights that they could be there for him? I just named 5 to 6 good fights that's out there for Tank Davis that can be made immediately or eventually be made down the line. I think the next logical fight would be Tank versus Ryan Garcia. But you have to ask yourself, is Golden Boy gonna make that fight? Now, keep in mind, Ryan Garcia already, you know what I'm saying, got out of a fight with Tank Davis. He already pulled out of a fight with Tank Davis. So the question is, will he do it again? That's all we can ask, and that's all we want to know. Can we get these big fights made? Can we get them made? Can we please get them made? The fans deserve it. Like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and cape for these promoters and these fighters and managers and all that kind of stuff if they're not giving us what we want, if they're not trying to make the best fight out there. But like I said before, Tank is staying with Mayweather Promotions, and there are some people saying, okay, well, this was Cap, you was never leaving in the first place. Hey, you never know. But Tank, he proved to me that he is a bona fide star. He can put butts in the seats. He had 18,000 people come to Brooklyn to see him. Maybe Tank's next fight will be in Atlanta. If Tank goes back to Atlanta, I'm at his next fight. Hopefully I get credential for his next fight. You know. If not, I'll still be there. I'll try to be there. But yeah, solid fight, man. Now, how did I see the fight? I just thought, based off the fact that Tank was pacing a little bit, he was on his bicycle, and he wasn't providing enough activity. But like I said before, I knew Tank would get the stoppage, so I wasn't that worried about it. It wasn't about, you know, I had it probably, I probably had it 3 rounds to 2 for Rolly, just on activity. Rolly landed some nice shots, and he was a little bit more active than Tank in the fight. But like I said before, I knew Tank would eventually catch him and get him up out of there. The fight went exactly how I thought it would go. I thought the knockout would be a little bit more vicious. I thought Tank would hit him with the uppercut, but instead he hit him coming in with a counter, and it was one of those punches Rolly didn't see coming. You know, to force him towards Tank, and Tank throwing that punch is like a double impact. And like I said, Tank caught him, and he put him down, and he was about to get Rolly, that is, was about to level. I forgot what that referee's name was, but I wish they would have used Harvey Dock for this fight since it was in New York, or Steve Willis, but they didn't. Well, as always, the punches you don't see sometimes, that like it's double impact when you lunging towards somebody, and then somebody throwing a punch is an impact. So it's almost like getting hit twice sometimes. But nevertheless, as far as Rolly goes, Rolly will be okay. Rolly will continue to get put on TV because he's entertaining. He talks a lot of stuff. So Rolly will be back. Now, where do I place Tank? I'll say this much. To me, Tank, after this performance, I know people gonna say, "Well, it was just Rolly because of Tank." He earned a legitimate spot in the pound for pound. I think Tank's in there. Now, depending on what happens next week, that's when I'll make my official pound for pound list. I wanted to see what happens with Devin Haney and Kambosos. But Tank, to me, proved that he's a pound for pound fighter. But anyway, thanks for listening. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.